Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream for Friday the 14th of April. It's the middle of April. We're getting there, right? We're moving slowly through the year. I don't have anything special about today. It's just the 14th of April. I'm excited. I got PyCon coming up soon. I don't know if anybody in the chat is going to go to PyCon or not, but if you are, find me there. Say hi. It'll be awesome. Can everybody hear me? Everybody see me? We're good to go on everything? Let me know in chat, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do today. So, yeah. How is everybody? Having a good Friday? Hi, Marcelo from Brazil. How are you doing? Hi, Xander. Wherever you're coming to me from the year 1998. That's pretty cool. It's a good year. Hey, everybody. Y'all ready for a brand new thing to build? We're done with the Django Feelings project for now. There's a chance we may bring that back. We may have a thing or two that we want to do with it in the future, but for right now, done with the Django Feelings project. It was awesome getting to see Ben build the Android stuff for it, and I have a couple of other ideas floating around, but for right now, I don't want to do anything else on it. So we're going to leave that alone for now. But this week, we're going to play with an awesome little thing called BeeWare. You can see it on the screen there. So BeeWare is actually being developed by a friend of mine. His name is Russ. I was going to try and get him to be on today, but he's flying from Europe back to Australia. He was at DjangoCon Europe, so he's somewhere up in the air, and so he doesn't get to be on the show today. But that's fine. That's cool. We can build his stuff anyway. So BeeWare is pretty cool. It's not a single project. It's a whole bunch of projects. So in fact, if we look here at their repositories, you can see there's a bunch of projects here. So BeeWare is a suite of tools that is used to turn Python into other languages. And it doesn't do that by changing the code. It does that by changing the bytecode. So for instance, Vok here is a transpiler that will turn your Python bytecode. So it takes Python, compiles it into bytecode, turns that bytecode into Java bytecode so that you can run your Python code natively inside the Java, engine. And that means that you can write Python code that then becomes Android apps or, just any Java app that you would want it to be. So pretty cool. It's a neat idea. Batavia is the same idea, but it goes to JavaScript. So this isn't production-ready software just yet. You don't necessarily want to use this live for like your mission-critical thing, but it's pretty cool, and it'll let you do a lot of neat stuff. It's also a really, really great place if you want to go and contribute to open source. These are amazing projects to go and contribute to open source on because the people who run it are extremely friendly, and they will help you get your commit merged in, getting things going. But they will also it's also a great place to get to see how like these languages work together. So what we're going to do today is I was asking Russ what was the best thing to play with on this. Like if I want something that actually I can show all of you, what's the thing to do? And his recommendation was to do the first couple of tutorials here for Toga. So I thought we'd play with Toga, see if we can get it to work. I have a backup plan if it doesn't work. If we can't get things to work, then we will just see about how to contribute to BeeWare. And I'll show y'all how to do your first open source contribution. So one of these two things is what we'll end up doing. So we'll see how that goes. But first, I have people saying hi to me in the chat. So we've got somebody from the Netherlands, which I'm not even going to try your name because I will just completely ruin it. So hi, Netherlands people. Fabio from Costa Rica, and we've got a few people from India. We got Kapil and Jinkya. Sorry if I screwed that one up. But yeah, cool. Hi, everybody. So let's get started. The first thing we probably need to do is to install Toga. So let's get Toga installed. So I'm going to go to settings, and I don't care about version control on this one. Not yet, at least. And I've got a virtual environment already set up, and so now I just want to install Toga. And that's probably all I need for now. we'll see about this Win32, WinForms. We'll see about this stuff later. But for right now, I think all I probably need is Toga. All right. And then we're going to make a file. Shrink this down a bit. Can I make that? Oh, yes. Thank you. That's so much better. All right. And yeah, for right now, we're just going to follow the tutorial, and that's cool. That's fine. That's how we learn stuff. So, let's just call this printer.py, because this file has a button, and it's just going to print some things out. Hi, Just Zero. How are you doing? So let's, no, I don't want to undo that. There we go. So we're going to import Toga. You got to have the library if you're going to use it. And then we're going to make this button handler, which button handler is the thing that does a thing when you press the button, right? And then it takes a widget, which that way it knows which button triggered it, which widget triggered it. Buttons would be a widget. And so this is just going to print hello to the screen. Okay, cool. And then build is going to be the app that compiles everything. It's going to be the function that compiles everything, and it takes an app as an argument. So we're going to make a box. So toga.box. And then we're going to make a button. And it's going to say hello world. And then when we press it, it's going to do the button handler. And for the button style, we're going to set the margin to be equal to 50. And then we're going to add the button to the box. And we're going to return the box. All right. And then, of course, our if name is equal to main. Then we're going to create our app. So it's going to be a Toga app. We're going to call it first app. And then this is just like if you've done packaging in Java, where you have to specify like the package location of the location of the package, and like you do your domain name in reverse. So like for us, I'd probably do like com.teamtreehouse, right? Because that's our domain name is treehouse, teamtreehouse.com. So we would reverse that to com.teamtreehouse. It's a little weird, but whatever, it's fine. And then we're going to call main loop in the app. If you've done any sort of game programming, this main loop idea is pretty common. Or just event-driven stuff, or like async IO stuff. The main loop idea becomes very, very common. All right, so let's run this. No module named Toga. But I told you to install Toga. Did you not install Toga? Let's make sure that was installed. There's Toga. How do you not have Toga? Yeah? It looks right. Okay, well, let's try running this in the shell. If all else fails, use the shell, right? So, I want to go into BeeWare stream. Okay. And then I want to do virtual envs BeeWare stream scripts activate.ps1 because I'm in PowerShell. All right, and then Python printer.py. No module named Toga. Okay. Let's just hop into Python. Import Toga. No. Import Toga cassowary. Okay. Let's look at Toga cassowary. That didn't help a lot. Okay, dot Toga. All right. No, Vivo, I don't think I need to restart PyCharm because this isn't finding the thing either. Let's see, which pip? Do we have pip? We do, okay. Pip install Toga. Not upgrade. Force. I wonder. Let's look at something here. I got a sneaking suspicion about something. Which, if I'm right, this is gonna be annoying. I want to look for Win32. No? I know there's a package. PYPI Toga. Duvert Town. We're building all of this right now in Python. At least that's our plan. We will see what happens there. And we got Gary from Ireland, and True Revelation from Bangladesh, and O. Nicholas from Denmark, and Pramesh from Nepal, who's currently hanging out in India, so that's cool. So, hi everybody. So, Win32, okay, which that's fine. I'm wondering, though, if that fails because I am using 64-bit Python. So, let's come over here and let's check out Toga. I'm gonna make this wider again so we can see what's going on. Let's check out the issues. Toga demo trouble, yeah. Windows doesn't work. See what else we have here that might show up. Microsoft Windows support. All right, so let's look at these two real quick. And like I said, if this fails, we'll play with something else, or we'll contribute to open source. No module named. As long as you're using the trunk version of Toga Core and Coliseum. Okay, so we need to install a different version of Toga. And that's fine. That's cool. We can totally do that. So, okay, so what it seems like we need to do is we need to be sure and be using, okay, there's not a trunk. Okay, so let's grab this. And let's go over here and let's do pip install git plus, and then that. And that way we'll install Toga from core, straight from GitHub, instead of using what's published on PyPI. Okay, so now let's try this printer thing again. Okay, still no module named Toga, and that's cool, that's fine. What's this Coliseum thing? I don't know, but that hasn't been touched in forever, so we're not going to talk about that one. All right, let's look at repositories. Do we have Coliseum? We do. We have Coliseum. Okay, so we need to install this as well. So pip install git plus that. Okay, I'm gonna let that install for a little bit here. Ryan, what are we building? We're not really building anything special or in particular. Right now we're just gonna follow the tutorials for Toga and just kind of see what we can get going. If we can't get anything going, then that's cool. We'll either try to fill in a ticket on BeeWare, or we'll go play with something else. Vivo, this has nothing to do with it being on Windows other than the fact that there is minimal support for Windows. Let's completely uninstall, install, Toga. Oh, it doesn't know what purge is. Okay. Yep, get rid of that. Okay, pip purge? Is that a thing? I think it is. No? Okay. So now let's try doing the install of Toga directly from there. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so using the trunk version of Toga Core. Oh, is that it? Is that we don't have Toga Core? Let's open Coliseum up in a new tab there. Toga. That should just be that, right? Let's open up this demo here, too. All right, so. Yeah, so pulling out of here, this would definitely be the thing. Okay, so we should be good there. And then I wanted to look at the second. We had a second one here somewhere, right? Yeah. Okay. File can't be created because it's already existed. And then no module named Toga. It's noted on there. Windows supports lagging behind other platforms. I'm gonna leave this open. Toga constraints missing. Creating the missing Toga part. From what I can see, the Toga core part's not installed in the site packages folder. The dist info folder is present, but not the actual source folder. Okay, big reorg. First thing install dependency as a result, installing Toga on Windows won't get the expected result. You'll need to manually install each of the components and uninstall everything that got installed unexpectedly. Okay. Still relying on cassowary, but all the Toga core code is now referring to Coliseum. This reflects a big internal change the way. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try pip freeze. Okay, pip uninstall cassowary Coliseum Toga cassowary and Toga win 32. All right, uninstall everything. Getting rid of all of it. Yes, that's go. Just do it. All right, so. All right. So now if I do pip freeze, I should see nothing. All right, cool. So now let's pop up here and let's install Toga straight from GitHub. All right, and then let's install Coliseum straight from GitHub. Which this one takes a little while. I'm kind of surprised at how long this one takes. Andrew, right now we're just trying to get Toga and Friends installed and somewhat happy, which is just not working. Okay, let's go look at let's open up a new shell, and let's go check out our virtual env. So, BeeWare stream. That was what this one was called. All right. So then we want to go look at lib and then site packages. And yeah, we don't have Toga itself, right? Because we end up getting basically what was there, right? So they've got cassowary. They've got a README for whatever reason. They've got a Toga cassowary. We didn't install Toga demo. Toga. Let's try the Toga demo as well. And we will install that directly from here as well. If in doubt, install from GitHub. Okay, so that thinks everything is cool. Yeah, but you have no module named Toga. And that's true, you don't have a module named Toga. Because if we look in here, there's not anything named Toga. What's in utils? Something else. Okay. The Praj Paris, what is Toga? Toga is a platform independent, well, supposedly, platform independent library for building applications in Python that will run on natively in different OSs. This isn't exactly that. Like, we're not able to get that going right now. So what I'm wondering, what's in Toga? Oh, it's a directory, okay. So that just lists a bunch of stuff. It doesn't actually say that Toga is in there. So what if we, let's look at setup.py. Okay, so they do that to get the version number. There they install that if it's required. But other than that, there's not really anything special. Okay, so if I was to do an ls of, say, Toga cassowary, I've got like that kind of stuff. Which, let's go look at Toga cassowary real quick. Can we not? No? Okay. So I'm wondering, if I was to just take this and do git clone that. I don't recommend doing this, everybody. Just so you know. But let's just see what it does. Right? It doesn't hurt anything. Like that, we're getting closer. Alright, so I think what I want to do instead is I think I want to do and then that, and then scripts, and then activate. Okay, so then go into Toga, do Python setup.py. Install. You installed the egg. I don't know if that did what I want or not. I did not do what I wanted. There's the egg, which, I mean, the egg is fine. That put the egg in there. Okay. Okay, so then let's move Toga to be like Toga source. Okay. Now it doesn't have anything named Toga. Okay. MB Toga dash that. Just be toga.egg. So let's try copying that over to Toga. I don't think that's going to work either, but let's give it a try. All right. Let's not worry about Toga. Let's do something different. So I'll leave this up to chat for a minute. Would you rather have me do a stream on how to contribute to open source? And we'll try and do something with BeeWare. We'll try and commit some stuff. Or would you rather me do some other fun thing to play with? So go ahead and chat. Give me an idea of what it is you would like to do, because yeah, this is just not gonna work. So I'm not going to fight it at this point, because that seems silly. Seems very silly to fight this. So, do we want to contribute to open source by likely working on Batavia, or do we want to do something different? So I've got an idea of playing with Click or Google Fire. I put out a poll on Twitter, and a lot of people voted for GraphQL, and I wanted to do GraphQL. GraphQL's not useful unless you have a lot of different data stores, right? So you have a lot of databases, and then GraphQL is really handy. If you just have like one database and it just has a few things in it, GraphQL is useless. Like, it's just completely, it's not a thing you need at all in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, what would y'all like to see me cover? And I will gladly we'll start talking about stuff. You want to see how to contribute, Vivo? Okay. We can do that. We can try and do a contribution. Contributions are a lot of fun. So I actually want to do deactivate. I'm just gonna whatever. Pip install. I have pip, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Pip install Cricket. Excuse me. Cricket is also a BeeWare project. Cricket is pretty amazing. Cricket is a tool for running your tests. That's what they're called. They're called tests. For running your tests. And what makes it really cool is that it doesn't need... you don't know what Cricket is? Okay. So app data, local, programs, Python 3.6 scripts, Cricket. Cricket unit test. Okay, there we go. So this is cool because you can run this like in your test suite, and then it'll give you a visual thing of all of your tests. No, Peter, this is not still part of Django Feelings. We're done with Django Feelings for a while, and we're going to play with other parts of Python for a bit. But so let's see about contributing to the open source stuff here in BeeWare, because BeeWare is pretty awesome. I really love helping out on BeeWare as much as I can. Now, BeeWare has two main areas that people contribute to. One of them is VOC, which is the Python to Java converter, and Batavia, which is the Python to JavaScript converter. Now, I know JavaScript way better than I know Java. So, Batavia is the one I'm going to help out on. I don't really know anything at all about Java. I don't know anywhere near enough about Java, rather, to help with it. So, let's talk about Batavia. Batavia is pretty cool. It is a really neat library. Yes, Evolved. Cricket is a sport. It's a really neat library that turns your Python code into JavaScript code. Let's see if we can get it to actually work. So I'm going to copy that, and I want to clone this. I will clone it at fprojects, BeeWare stream. I'll clone it into here. I'll get rid of that printer.py because we don't need that anymore. All right, so we're going to clone Batavia into here. And Batavia is really cool. Like I was saying, it'll turn your Python code into NPM. So, or into NPM, wow, into JavaScript. What's cool is that means you can write Python and then you can turn that into JavaScript and run it in, a browser or wherever you want to install it. Okay, so now we need to do virtual envs, BeeWare stream scripts, activate. Okay, and then I'm going to do a pip freeze. I want to get rid of all of these, so we're going to do pip uninstall, cassowary, Coliseum, Toga, cassowary, Toga demo, and Toga win32. We're gonna get rid of all of those. Yep. That's true. I do have to spell Coliseum correctly. Where did I screw up on that? Pip uninstall COLOSSEUM. That's how you spell it. Y'all get to see the fact that I can't spell as well as you thought I could. Okay, and then we're going to do pip install. Marcus, how does it handle things like mixins? I'm not sure what you mean by mixins. I have npm available, right? Yeah, okay. So then we can do npm run build. Oh, I think I remember. There was a problem with this. It had required an older version of npm of Node, 6.9.1. So if we do npm version, yeah, that's it. So we have a newer version of Node than they expect, and so it doesn't work, which is disappointing. It's sad that it doesn't work with that, and I don't want to install an older version of npm. That seems kind of silly. So let's not do that. 4.0 or greater, really? npm version is that npm installed sg npm. I don't think this will work. Let's find out though. It doesn't hurt to have a newer thing like npm. So yeah, Marcus, what do you mean by mixins, and how does it handle mixins? You mean like the class-based mixins that we have in Python, or something else? Because I'm not sure what you mean there. Excuse me. So we're just waiting on npm to install right now. If we can get Batavia to run, then that's cool. If we can't, it's fine. We can still run the tests and try to do a commit. So there's a lot of commits here for Batavia. As you can see, there's quite a few sitting here working on this. What Batavia requires is Batavia needs to have a there needs to be a full version of effectively the Python core library written in JavaScript, which is what Batavia needs. So if we let's pop over here to the issues, and I don't want to do any of the Google Summer of Code ones. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good one here that would work well for contributing. Because while there's a lot of these and a lot of them are good for contributing, I don't want to steal anything away from easier stuff. Here we go. This is a good one. So we'll go with this complete implementation of operations on standard types. Let's look at this one. Maybe not that one. Maybe this one instead. What can we create with Python? Vine asks. Python is pretty open. You can kind of create anything you want with Python. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of stuff that's missing. So I guess figure out what it is that you want to do. Victor, we're not coding anything at the moment, actually. Right now we're kind of playing with Batavia. We're going to look at maybe committing or contributing to the open source project Batavia. So, and we're going to kind of just talk through what Batavia does and how we would work on it. Vine, what kind of apps? So Python's best for doing like web apps versus doing like it won't build native mobile apps. It won't build native well, you could build native desktop apps using Tkinter. But that's neither here nor there. So for the most part, Python runs in the back end in the back behind web apps. Okay, cool. So now we need to do npm install, which that should just install the bits and pieces that we need. We'll let that run for a minute. npm install. Okay, we'll have to do that in a minute. So Python runs behind a lot of apps. For instance, Python runs behind Instagram. It runs behind a lot of Facebook's stuff. It runs behind YouTube. It runs behind Pinterest. It runs behind Venmo. If you've used Venmo, the payment thing. So yeah, there's lots of places where Python runs behind things. Vortex Dude, what kind of programming language or languages do I need to know to make an OS? Most OSs are written in C or C++. You typically want something that runs much lower level than, like, say, Python or Ruby or whatever would run. But once you have that base level running nicely, you can kind of build the rest of it, like, on whatever you want, right? Like, you know, Mac is written in, like, Objective-C and C and C++ and a few other random languages. Windows is written in C++, C, C#, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so there was a message up here about something about Webpack. Let's see if we can find it. Wow, that's a lot of output. Excuse me, y'all. All right, so we want to do npm install babel preset env save dev. Okay. Did that by any chance? Where'd you go? There it is. Nope. All right. I was hoping. Okay. npm install babel preset env save dev. Control C. Does that work? Ha, it did. Sweet. So yeah, so you typically want to build something that runs really fast at the base of the at the base of your operating system, and then you can have slower and slower things as you move up the stack, right? Because while applications should ideally launch quickly and run quickly, they could be written in something that runs a little bit slower because it's just drawing to the screen or whatever. I think we're supposed to do npm build. That was it. Okay. npm run build. Let's see if this works. It's doing something. And then we can try running Python in our browser. Justin, when did YouTube start doing live streams? A while back, I guess. I don't remember exactly when they started doing it, but I know they started doing it a little while ago. Okay, so we should have a test server. We do. Look at that. We have that test server directory. And then, once we're inside there, we can do pip install -r requirements, which that will install everything from the requirements directory, or requirements file. And then, once that's installed, we should be able to launch this Batavia testbed. Hey, Lion O Tiger. Right now, we're getting Batavia installed and set up. We're going to contribute to some open source here in a little bit once we have Batavia running. Today's episode is kind of more relaxed than a lot of ours. There's not necessarily a end goal. We're just trying to play with some open source software, see what we can find, see what we can do. Just kind of learn and explore a little bit. So hang out if you want to hang out. Help solve any problems that come up. Contribute ideas. Yes, pause. I have my challenge coin from Russ. I've had mine for, it'll be a year in July. So, yeah. Okay, cool. So we've got that going. We should be able to do Python manage.py run server. It hasn't actually stopped. Okay. That in here. Let's see if I can. So let's go to terminal. Let's try doing this in here. Okay. And then Batavia. And then test server. Okay, and then Python manage.py run server. Okay, cool. So now, if we try to go to our local host, cool, here's our Batavia testbed. So now here's what's really cool, is we can do stuff like for x in range 10, print x squared. And then we can run it. Unknown opcode. Do you not know how to do it? Unknown opcode 0. That's fun. Let's try something a little easier. Let's just do print hello world. We're getting all sorts of fun console output, aren't we? Okay, so Pystone is working. Sample.py is not working. Can't read property int32 of undefined. Interesting. All right. So somebody was saying, how do we know like what needs fixing on GitHub? And yeah, you pretty much just go look at like issues, right? And you just see what these issues are. And like some of these are really, really simple issues that you want to see like somebody just needs done, right? Like, so inside the button example in tutorial 1 doesn't work. So the aim of the output element ID is changed from std out to pyconsole, but that change isn't reflected in the tutorial text. So that's cool. That's a really quick, simple, easy thing to go fix. In fact, one of you should go do that right now. Clone Batavia, change that in the text, submit it, right? Make sure that change actually works, but submit it. That's really simple and easy. Some are going to be much harder. These ones that you see here labeled as GSOC, Google Summer of Code, those are going to be more difficult ones for people to do. But they're still pretty awesome ones, and they will be absolutely amazing once they get all the way done. So I really hope somebody gets those underway soon. So I don't think our thing is going to run, and I bet it's because we're not on the right version of Node. It's weird, though, that it ran that far. I wonder if we should do... Let's come back out here. Compile standard lib. So it compiled it. Undefined is not defined. That's true. Undefined would be not defined. Let's try printing 1. Do we still get undefined is not defined? Yeah. That's interesting that that's just not running at all. Also, my mouse has stopped scrolling. Issue related running sample.py. Yeah, there is something wrong with running the sample.py. So let's not worry about those. I mean, we can look at it real quick if y'all want to see it. Because this is kind of cool. This is supposed to run as Python. So we get DOM and the other. We build up points. We try out some different mix-ins and things like that. Right? So like that's pretty cool that we get to do stuff like that and it works. Okay, so let's cancel this. Kill that terminal. Get rid of that. Turn off that. All right. So it's alive. It's actually not alive. But that's fine. Yeah, see, this is the one there. It's no longer called std out. It's now called something else. So that's the one to go change. All right, so let's not worry about this part. Yeah. But I do recommend that you go and read Why Batavia. Russ is absolutely amazing at naming things. So, yeah. Let me go back to chat. There's some more questions here. So Vine asked, you're confused which language you should learn for creating mobile apps. So it depends on the platform you want to do. If you want to build for iPhones and iPads, you want to learn Objective-C or more likely Swift. If you want to build for Android phones and tablets, then you're going to want to learn Java or Kotlin. There are ways to do like Python to Objective-C or Python to, like Java for Android. Things like Kivy are really popular for that. They're not necessarily great. Lots of times they fall a little short, make things that are a little weaker than you would like. The Vortex dude, can I start making an OS? No. I have absolutely no idea how I would start making an OS. I read a thing a little while back of how to build your own programming language, and I thought that was kind of cool, but I need to learn a lot more about C and C++ before I even start doing that. So I'm not going to start that. Yeah. Oh, pause. There's an issue about sample.py, is there? I'll check that out. True. Okay. Cool. That's neat. Ryan asks, why do we need backend languages? I know we need it for databases, but what else? I mean, I guess we can make any web app with front end. What is a backend language that we really need? So you need the processing power of someone else's computer on the front end, right? And you don't want to do heavy calculations on someone else's computer. And you can't really use someone else's computer to send an email, so that has to live on the back end. And you can't really use someone else's computer to store files, so that lives on the back end. The back end is where all the heavy lifting is done when it comes to applications. The front end is perfectly good, solid work, but not work that is the same. So, yeah. Taco, do we offer a student discount at Treehouse? I don't believe there is a student discount. There is a free trial, and there should be some links like in the show notes, or there may be like a little eye up on one side of the screen that has a link that will get you somewhere. And I think that has some sort of extra bonus thing, but I don't know for certain. I'm not responsible for any of that part. And Ryan Skits, should you code even if you're a kid? Sure. If you can figure out how to do the code, then do the code. This isn't what I was looking for. What was I looking for? On Batavia. Let's search by first-timers only. Operations on standard types. I think this is the one I was looking for. All right, so let's look at this. Let's not work with the test server. We want to look at Batavia itself. And we want to look at this kind of stuff. So if we go over here and we look at tests, data types, and so like let's say that we're going to work on I like tuples. Let's work on tuples. Okay, so we've got all these different test cases that come in, and Batavia's tests are pretty awesome because of how this stuff is being done. So we have these transpile test case, unary operation test case, binary operation test case, and in-place operation test case. So these supply all the random data to our types and get the expected outcome, right? So they should all pass. All the tests are marked as they're supposed to fail. So if they suddenly pass, then you're like, hey, sweet, I did the thing that you wanted me to do. So that's how you know whether or not you did the right thing. So you can see stuff here where it's like expected failure, right? This test is supposed to fail. So we want to make this test not fail. All right, so that means we need to go and look at tuple. So we don't need tuple tests, and we don't need test tuple. We need that one? Nope. Not that one. We need that one. All right, so these are where we have all of these functions and methods and stuff, right? So you can see like here we've defined the dunder EQ dunder method, which is the equality method. We're defining that on the tuple prototype. It's going to be this function. It takes this other, and then we run all this logic about to figure out whether or not it's this other thing. Okay? So the one that we're looking for is we want to find setAttr. So let's look through this file. Oops. Let's look through this file for setAttr, which doesn't exist. Doesn't exist anywhere. Okay. So normally that would be done in dunder setAttr, but I don't know if that's where we want to do it. Get item. This may not be the one that we want to fix, because I'm actually not sure where this one would get fixed. Yeah, let's not worry about that one for right now. Let's find another one that's expected to fail. Oh, is that the only one? Oh, that's horrible. That's the only one. Okay, so we've got some things here that aren't implemented yet. And I wonder if that's because those things just don't work for in-place operations. Yeah, you can't do anything on a tuple for in-place. Okay, let's find a different one then. Let's try test... Let's try test int. No, not test int. Test list. I know a little bit about Lua, not a whole lot. I've built one thing in Lua over the years, and Lua's cool, but it's not one that I know a ton about, so I can't say, a whole lot about it. You can learn Python on Treehouse. You can learn C# on Treehouse. You can learn Ruby and HTML and CSS and all sorts of stuff. I am, for some reason, not seeing tests that I need to fix here. Yeah, those are all fine. That could be a fun one. Some iterator. Okay. Let's see if we can find where that one's defined. And then maybe we can make that work. Iter. See, this is where it's really handy to have somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to these tests next to you. Is there a capital I? Oh, we've got different kinds of iterators. Okay, so let's look at... Okay, I think this is closer to what we want. Or do we have anything about sum? A and B could fail to add due to many possible type incompatibilities, all of which would need to be reflected in this error message, but we don't have to check for them here because we've already got tested for them in dunder add. It's true. So why does that test fail? Why is that test listed as expected failure? I don't know. Alright, so this is turning out to not be the fun thing that I thought it was going to be. So... oh, we got a ton of expected failures in there. So let's try something else. So I'll tell you what, we started off with we were going to build some sort of GUI thing. So let's play with that. Let's play with Tkinter. Tkinter is not the most amazing thing ever, but let's give it a try, because Tkinter's fun. So let's make a Tkinter script, build a little Tkinter app, and we'll use that to convert temperatures between Celsius and Fahrenheit and Celsius. Okay? Does that sound easy enough? We'll give that a try. So let's see. Victor said, a lot of people and mainly students are good at coding. What really gives you experience to become great and the freedom to mainly work easily on anything. The secret to succeeding at literally anything is practice, especially with something like Python. That's just a skill, right? Programming. Programming isn't something you're born with. Nobody's born knowing how to program. Some people might be better at it than others because they think logically better, or they're better at the maths side of it, or whatever, right? But absolutely anybody and everybody can do programming. It's just a matter of learning the language, learning the constructs, learning those things, right? That's it. So you can go and build anything you want in programming. You just have to learn the language that you want to play with, and things like that. So don't feel like you have to know, you have to be born with some sort of thing, because that's not the way it is. Xander says Lua is definitely a weird language to the other languages. When I started learning JavaScript, bad habit leaving out semicolons. Yeah, Lua is very strange. Lua's neat and it's cool, but it has so many just weird little bits that I haven't gotten quite into it yet. Not enough to be like, oh yeah, Lua's amazing. So at some point, I think I'm gonna try and do a Lua live stream, and we'll all learn Lua together. We'll all play with Lua together. But that's gonna be a little ways off. So we're not gonna worry about that for now. And Vine asks what motivated me to start coding. So I was working on a game with some people online, and I was doing the artwork because I have an design degree rather. And the art for the game, I was working on tiles for like the ground plane, and it was going to be offset. So if this is a tile, the next tile would be next to it, but halfway down, and of course there'd be one halfway up. And I couldn't get it laid out well in my image program to where I could test and edit this. This was in the year 2000, 2001. So I was telling them, I was like, oh, I'm having a hard time getting this to work. And they're like, oh, well, here, let me give you a script that'll lay it out for you. And they gave me a Python script that would generate the PHP script that would generate the necessary HTML for me. And that was amazing. Like, I couldn't believe it. So I started digging into that. And at the same time, I was doing an internship for my school, for my university. And that was done mostly in PHP. So I was picking up PHP from that as well. And then I started helping a friend of mine on his forum that was done in PHP, and that needed some code. And so just all these things where I was having to write some code, and I was just like, programming's pretty fun. I had done HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ActionScript, all this Shockwave, like all this stuff back in the past before, but this was the first time like programming, and it was really fun. And I just decided to do that from now on instead of design. I liked it better. Ryan says, Java or Python, be honest. Python, I mean, do I even have to like, did any of you think it was something else? But that said, Java's a pretty awesome language. All right, so here's what we're getting done. We're going to build this little thing here. And right now, it's just a pretty simple application that doesn't do anything special. And we're just going to go along with the tutorial for right now. And I know a lot of y'all are like, why does he do tutorials all the time? And I do tutorials all the time because tutorials are a great way to learn stuff. And you watching me follow a tutorial is still good for both of us, right? So we just have to get through these things, and then we can go and build whatever stuff we want after that. So if you don't know what Tkinter is, or what TK is, Tkinter and TK are, well, so TK and Tickle is a really old programming language that's used for building GUI applications using Windows and stuff, right? Not Windows, the operating system, but Windows like a window on the screen. And Tkinter is the Python TK interface, Tkinter, for using TK. And what's cool is it's built in, so you can just start playing with it. And hi there, .pack, side equals top, self.quit, quit. Foreground is red, and the command is equal to root.destroy. And then let's make say hi. And we're just going to print hi there, everyone. Okay, and then let's get down here to root. So root is going to be tk. App is an instance of our application where the master is equal to root. So that's just the core of everything that's running. And then we're going to do app.main loop. And you can tell this is like older Python because of weird things like feeding in the instance here, and like it being main loop instead of like a main underscore loop or anything like that. It's really weird getting to see like old Python. So can y'all see this window here? I don't know if I'm going to be able to move it. Or, oh, let's see. Wait, I can make it bigger. There we go. So we have a button that says hello world, click me. And when I click it, it prints hi there everyone down here. So I forgot to do one step. Let me go back and add that in real quick. We want to do pack side equals bottom. Okay, and then we run that again. There we go. Now we have two windows, or two buttons in one window. So this one says hello world, click me. I know it might be a little small, but you can see it there. And then this one says quit. So hello world, that'll print hi there everyone every time I click it, and quit will quit. Cool. So let's talk about a couple of other things here. We want to, like, the packer is cool, but the packer is a little bit strange, right? So what the packer does is the packer tries to pack everything together and make it fit nicely. So you can specify which side of the box it's on. So it's on the top of a box, the bottom of a box, left or right of a box. You can specify whether or not it expands. You can specify where it's attaching things to, and then you can pad it. So let's try doing these so that it's, say, like, we'll leave that as top, we'll leave that as bottom. Let's do expand equals 1 on that one and see what that does. That didn't do anything. Okay. That didn't do anything either. Okay. So that's a Boolean. I shouldn't have to do that. Yeah, that didn't change anything. Okay. Oh, there's what we want. We want fill, and we want to fill on X. We want to go this way. Sweet. So here's our window. Our window is actually smaller than what you see, right? But you see now that quit has expanded out to be as wide as the other stuff in our little packed area. So that's cool. Let's see if we change this to both. Yeah, nothing special. It was already filling up as much room as it could. Okay, let's see. We got some more things here. Vine asks, which apps am I most likely to create? I mean, I make all kinds of different stuff. So, you know, I don't really know. We kind of build whatever, right? We build the stuff that we need to build. There we go. So that's kind of cool. Playing with where the stuff is arranged. And then Dimer asks which language to start with. I think Python or JavaScript are really the languages to start with nowadays. There are a lot of really great languages out there, but Python and JavaScript are the two that are probably the easiest to get into, as far as all of this, you know, stuff. They're also really easy to get into, as far as like there's not a lot in your way of playing with either of them. So yeah, those are the ones I go with. So now we have this window that now it says say hi, because we set the title right there. And I can't make it any taller than 100 pixels. So that's cool. And I can't make it any wider than 500. So that's neat. That's fun, I guess. Excuse me. And then Hussein asks, what are the hardest programming languages? Usually the hardest languages are the older ones, because they are harder to find help and support for. Harder to find like documentation and stuff. Simply because they're older, right? So you often don't want to get stuck in those, right? Simeon, how come Tkinter, isn't it outdated? Isn't Qt better? Yes and no. Qt does not come pre-installed in Python. Tkinter does. Also, Qt has some weird licensing things around it. It's really neat, but at the same time, it has things that you may or may not want to be involved in as far as licensing goes. There's a lot of, especially with commercial software, Qt has some very strange licensing requirements. Okay, so let's talk about storing stuff. I said I wanted to do conversion of temperature from one to another, right? So we need to have float values for either one of those, right? Because both Fahrenheit and Celsius can be floated. They both have decimal values. They can both be floated. So we're going to hold on to a double var. We want a double. So let's go ahead and do that here in our... let's go ahead and hold on to these in here. So let's do f input is equal to tk.doublevar, and c input is equal to tk.doublevar. And then down here, let's make a couple of new widgets that we can use that are ones that allow people to insert things. So or actually this shouldn't be f.input, this should be f.input val and val. and f underscore input should be tk.entry, and c input equals tk.entry. And let's put these next to each other. So f input.pack side equals left. And I'm going to do the same thing here for C input. And I'm going to ditch hi there and say hi. And this can go back on the bottom. And it can fill the X again. Okay, let's see what this looks like. And we've got 1 and we've got 2. So there they are. Okay? So we probably need to put some sort of label on those, right? Like at this point, they're really hard to see, and they'd be really annoying to try and use. So, okay. Dimmer asks, is it necessary to know everything and keep everything in my mind? No, not at all. Don't ever try to keep everything in your mind. It's not going to work. It really isn't. You will never, ever keep everything in your mind. So don't even worry about that at all. Okay, so this is our layout. We want to also handle if somebody puts some data in there, right? So let's do okay. So we want to put whatever's in there. So we want to do self.finput.bind. And then here, this is where we specify which key is going to trigger the thing. So we're binding a key to like a function. So we'll call this as self.convert and update. Okay, and we'll do the same thing here for C. So let's make a new function here called convert and update. And this is going to take an event. So we're going to know what event comes in here. And what we want to do here is we want to do self dot... For now, let's just update these variables, right? So self.f input val dot set as self.f input dot get. I think that'll work. And let's do the same thing here for C. And let's do print self.f input val dot get. Let's see what this does. All right, so this one should be my F. I'm going to put in 10. I'm going to press enter. Check it out. We got 10.0. I'm going to put in 50. Press enter. I got 10.0 because I'm only printing out the F1, right? So let's print this out a little bit nicer. Let's print F dot format. Actually, no, let's not worry about that. And then C, oops. And then we'll make this C. And we'll run that. And we'll do 10 there again. Okay, and there's F10. And then here, let's do 50. And we got 10 and we got 50. So what we should do is right here, self.f_input_val.set 0. So now if I do this as like 20. Oh, but I got an empty string. Oh, we need to set the value on each of these. So when this runs, self.f_input text variable. equals self.f input val. And then we'll do the same thing here for C. Oops. And then yes, you do. Oh, haha. I'm being silly. There we go. All right, so that says 10 or 0. If I change that to 10, we get 10 and 0. If I change this one to 50, that comes up as 50. All right, cool. So this is cool. This is great. Whoops, I keep hitting my mic. But it looks horrible, right? Like, we want to make it a little bigger, probably. We want to, like, align some labels. We want to do something, right? So let's see if I can find the grid down here. Images, file handlers. I'm not worried about file handlers. Where's the grid? Because I know there's a grid thing. Those are books. I don't care about the books at the moment. Dialogues, message, font. Probably a thing we want to look at. Turtle. Turtle's fun. Figure that out later, though. All right. There we go, the grid method. Wahaha. Okay, so that's not useful. Tutorial. Does this have a grid? Let's see if we can find the grid. There we go, the grid. Okay, so the grid is cool because it lets us define columns and rows, which is what we want. So let's see if we can find the Python bit. Here we go. Okay, so you can see that we're building this frame. So a frame is just something that holds something else, right? And so inside of there, we could build other frames if we want. So let's do these are our other grids. That's not quite as useful as I was hoping it was. Okay, let's just try it. Let's see what we can do. So we want to build a grid. So let's make a new function here, which is create grid, or new method rather. And excuse me. We didn't make any frames there. Oh, that was right. We made our application a frame. Okay, so we're going to make a frame. So let's do self.content, and let's say this is going to be like tk.ttk.frame. And that's going to take root, but that's actually going to take self.master because we're defining master up here. Okay, and then we want to make inside of that let's see, where do we want to put that? Because the grid is weird. Column number. The grid is so weird. I keep forgetting how weird the grid is. Okay, so let's see. We make a frame, we make a frame, we make a label, which that's cool. We need some labels. All right, let's go ahead and make a label here, actually. So self.flabel equals ttk.label. Content, is that specifying where that is? Yeah. Okay, so text equals Fahrenheit. I probably got that way wrong. But that's okay. And then we'll do this, and we'll say Celsius. Typo in word Fahrenheit. Can you fix it? Spelling. Change to. Thank you. There, now I don't look silly. Okay, so, oh, that's it. Okay. Okay. I remember how we do it now. I think I remember how to do it. Okay, so content is that. We've created it. And then what we need to do, there's our root. There's that. Each thing gets built up inside there. Then we specify where each thing is. Okay, so let's try doing that. So let's try doing self.content.grid. And this is going to be at column 0, row 0. And I think that means we want to get rid of self.pack. And we want to take off. Actually, let's just comment that out. Much safer just to comment things out for right now. Okay, so what we want is we want to have that one. And then we want to have a row for where the two... where we're going to have a row for a label and a thing, and a label and a thing, right? A label and an input. So let's call this like inputs. And that will be a new frame, which belongs to content. And yeah, we'll do border width is 5, not 50. And relief is, yeah, sunken. Okay, so that's going to hold the inputs. So then this input is going to be at self.inputs. I need to shrink that over. There we go. That way I can see all of that. Okay. Maybe we need to have inside of that more. Maybe we need to have... Let's leave that alone for right now. Okay. So then we're going to say self.inputs is at column 0, right? It's all the way over on the left. Row 0, it's all the way at the top. And then how many columns it has in it? It's going to have 2 columns. And rows, it's going to have 2 rows. I think that's the way that works. So that's in there. That's in there. That's in there. And that's in there. So now we have to say where these things are in that grid. So self.flabel in that grid is going to be at column 0 and row 0. And then f input is going to be at column 1, row 0. C label is going to be at column 0 and row 1. And C input is going to be at column 1, row 1. TTK is not defined. Okay. Import from Tkinter, import TTK. So then we'll change these over to that. Oh, no, that's not the problem. Problem is, I didn't do tk.ttk on that, or on this. No, not that. That. Okay, so there's an actual error. Okay. From Tkinter import ttk. So let's search for tk.ttk. And then that. That should be .grid. Yep. Yeah. Okay. And that's true. I forgot to call self.createGrid. Content is not defined. That's also true. This should be self.content. Sweet. So we have our box, right? Y'all can see that we have the box. And then we have our labels and our boxes here that are aligned like we wanted. So that's pretty awesome. That's neat. We don't have our quit button anywhere. We should probably have a quit button. We should probably also have a button, probably two buttons that say like F to C and C to F, right? So we know which one to update. So let's try adding those. Also, we should change this title to temperature converter. All right, so I want to make those able to expand. How can I do that? Sticky. Center the cell in the widget. Position the widget in a corner of the cell by doing that. Okay, so we want to do some of that. So when we're defining grid, so I want content should already be sticky, but let's just make sure and say sticky equals tk dot in plus tk dot e plus tk dot s plus tk dot w. And you know what? Let's actually make a thing up here that's like sticky all. And let's do that in here. Sticky all. Because I have a feeling we're going to do that more often than we are anything else, right? So if we do that, then we can't see whether or not that's sticky or not, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay. So we got that. And then inputs, I think that one we're going to want to have be sticky just left and right. So let's do sticky h is equal to tk dot e plus tk plus dot w. So that's this one, and we'll say sticky equals sticky h. Let's run that, and now we should... Oh no. No? What happened? Is that on frame? Maybe I need to specify something. tk.frame. Okay, that would be Tkinter.frame, not tk. That's kind of weird that it's obviously something I can use, right? As I'm specifying tk.frame right there. But that's not showing up. That's really weird. Call span. Okay. You can grab multiple cells of a row, merge into one. Column number, you want the widget gridded, counting from 0. Only occupies one cell in the grid. Oh, you know what? Let's take that out. And let's just leave it like that and see what it does. Well, that didn't do it either. To register W, so the grid, as a child of some widget, W2, use in underscore equals W2. The new parent must be extended at the parent widget used when W was created. Okay. Maybe that doesn't work for grid bits. So, I don't think it would be in underscore self.content. That doesn't make sense. Watch, that's gonna work. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. Hi, Simeon. Well, maybe you're not done entering it yet, right? Like you're asking why not automatically update it? Maybe you're not done. And Vine, WordPress is created in PHP. So that wasn't what I wanted. Sticky H. Yeah, E plus W. And then we should have a sticky V, which is in plus S. Okay. Well, we won't worry about that just yet. So let's get the buttons in there. So now I want to make a new one, which is self.inputs. No, not inputs. Buttons, which is going to be a frame, which is also going to be in self.content. No border or anything like that. It's just going to live there. And self.buttons.grid is going to be in column 1, but row 0. And sticky will be sticky H. I don't think this is going to quite do what I want, but let's find out. Okay, so we got those packed. I'm going to turn these two things off because we're going to do that in a minute, but I'm not, when they click the button, but I'm not going to do it just yet. So first, let's do self.f2c equals tk.button. And the master is going to be, that should be in self.buttons. And text will be F to C. And command will equal convert F to C. Yep, that's fine. And then we're going to do C to F. And that will be convert C to F. Christian, you can use pack after configuring the grid, but you often don't want to, just because where the grid, like the grid and the pack often fight each other. So lots of times you don't want to put them both in there. So self.f2c.grid, column is going to be 0, row is going to be 0, and C to F is going to be column 0 but row 1. Oh, yep, and I don't have either of those named. So convert F to C is going to take an event, and we're just going to pass. And then convert C to F. It's going to take an event, and it's just going to pass as well for right now. Oh. Self. Typos galore today. Alright, so let's see how these two things play together. So they just hang out there. That's cool. That's fine. Neither of them do anything, right? That's okay. So we will, actually, yeah, I guess buttons probably don't take an event. We know what they're doing. Okay, so let's see if we can make these two things stick where we want them to stick. So I want this one just to be tk.in plus tk.w. And I want this one to be tk.in plus tk.e. Right? Because I want them to do their thing. What is up with this? This grid should be doing what I'm telling it to do. Why is this grid not stretching things out? Yeah, no, I know, Christian. A lot of things do need pack, but oh, we can also do this as a string. Let's try that. So we want this to be north and east. And we want this to be, there we go, a string of north and west. Okay, that's not doing it. What if we were to put in northeast and west in that? Right, that makes no sense. And W on that one. Right, that makes no sense. Oh, here we go, resize. As a weight, right? Pause the weight of the columns we'd like to expand. This is done using the column configure and row configure methods of grid. If two columns have the same weight, they'll expand at the same rate. 1 is 3. Take a min size grid, which specifies a minimum size. Okay. So let's look down here and see what we've got. So then we've got padding. And then we've got weights. All right. Let's try that out. So self.inputs is obviously one of our columns. So let's say column configure. On that, be 0. 0 column. Weight equals 3. No, not that one. We want content. I think this is what we want. Okay, column configure. The 0 one is going to change at 1, and the 1 is also going to change at 1. You didn't do what I wanted. Thanks for not doing what I wanted. Hey, Dark Dev, you know it's always Python. It's always Python for me, right? Yeah, Simeon, it's this row configure, column configure. That's what I'm trying to get going here. That's what weird is. It's not It's not, column span and row span. So that's like how many columns you want to cover, right? Which by default, that should be 1. Let's just search for grid. No? Whatever. Yeah, so those would just be 1, as far as I understand it, by default. Tickle. Aha. There's a lot of tickle stuff. Let's not even get into that tickle stuff just yet. Okay. Column span. It's 1 cell in the grid. Okay. Grab multiple cells of a row, merge them into one larger cell by setting the column span option to the number of cells. Okay, that makes sense. In a cell that spans columns 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. Yep. Row 0. Okay. That makes sense. Let's add a little bit of padding to this one. This one's feeling a little horrible. So iPad X equals 5. iPad Y equals 5. Oh, that goes into grid. Not into there. iPad X equals 5. iPad Y equals 5. There we go. We got a little bit more room. That one now looks funny, so let's do the same thing on that one. It still looks a little funny. We'll take off the padding. The sticky is so weird. Why is the sticky not working? Is it because this one isn't sticky? Oops. That's not it. Okay, that looks a little nicer. Let's add that into here. Still not resizing. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. Let's just make these buttons work. Okay. So let's take those off. I'm not going to worry about those. Let's put all of the F stuff together. And then all of the C stuff together. Okay. So convert F to C. Formula. All right, the temperature T in degrees Celsius is equal to temperature T in degrees Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5 to the 9th. Okay. You know what? Let's cheat and let's do Python. All right, cool. So we're going to take F. So F equals self.f input dot get. And we're going to say that C is equal to F minus 32. And we have to do that first. And then we're going to multiply that times 5 divided by 9. And then we're going to say self.c input val.set to C. And self.c input text variable let's make a new function here. Update. Okay, cool. So we do that, and then we do self.update. And then down here, self.update. So that gives us the F2C. Let's try that one. So let's say that 212 degrees Fahrenheit for string and int. Huh. That should be a float that comes out of that. I'm not sure why it's not. Sweet. So that looks like that works, right? Okay. So now let's do the opposite of this. So C equals float self.c input dot get. C is equal to, or no, not C, F is equal to C times 9 over 5 plus 32. And then self.f input val.set is F, and self.update. And if I say my Celsius is 100 degrees and I do C to F, that comes out as 212. And vice versa. Cool. So if it was 32 degrees Celsius, that would be almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And if it's 102 degrees Fahrenheit, that'd be 38 degrees Celsius. Cool. So we've got an app that works, right? Oh, excuse me. All right, Christian, you got something here. You said wiki TCLTK 1051. Set height of the frame to 1. Can I do that? Sorry. Use this one. Height equals 1. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it for now. It works fine as it is. And we're coming up on the 2 hour mark. So I think I'm gonna stop messing with stuff today. Excuse me. And we'll do questions or comments or anything like that. So if y'all have any questions, you got a few minutes to get them in, and then I will answer any and all that I can. Dark Dev asks if I've been making games. No, I haven't. I've been having a really horrible time trying to get Rust and SDL working together. I've got to do some more on that today. The plan is still to do the Ludum Dare next week, but we'll see. We'll see if the Ludum Dare works or not. I may end up not being able to do it, but I think I will be able to. I think I'll be good and able to get in there. But I haven't been making any games yet, so I don't know. I don't know how that'll work. I really don't. Wish me luck on getting the Ludum Dare to even work and getting into it. I think I'll be able to, but we'll find out. Oh, this cold is just, it will not go away. It's been very annoying. So yeah, anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, criticisms, other words that start with the k sound? What's going on with everybody? Oh no, I dropped 0.1% of my frames. This is horrible. I also have an idea of doing a stream here in a week or two. I want to try and do like the Mandelbrot set, or drawing the Mandelbrot set, using Python. But I gotta figure out my math better, and B, I have to figure out how I'm gonna draw it. Seems like Turtle might work, but it also seems like I could probably do it with like Pillow and just like setting pixels. So yeah. James Scott, you're new to the stream. Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. Did I learn and get a job through Treehouse? No, I teach for Treehouse. I am the Treehouse Python teacher. So if you go to Treehouse and you're like, I want to learn Python, you're going to see a whole lot of this and hear a lot of this voice as you're learning Python from Treehouse. No, I taught myself to program years and years and years ago. I've been a programmer for a long time. And I got tired of programming, so I started teaching, and I really like teaching a lot better. Dark Dev, no game ever after 20 years. Well, no, yeah, I mean, like, I've made games, or, you know, I've played around with making games, but I haven't been making a game lately, which is what I thought you meant. I thought you meant, like, have you been making a game in the last, few weeks? No, I haven't. Have I made a game ever in my life? Yes, sort of. Green Wizard, how old is that beard? About 4 years old, 4.5, maybe. Yeah, I have a child that's like never really seen me without one, so it's old. It's older than a child. Christian, is this the preferred toolkit used in the Python world? Because once I wrote Swing app using Python, very slow, by the way. Tkinter is not necessarily the preferred GUI toolkit in the Python world. There are others that are definitely better depending on the situation that you're in, right? If you're building something for Linux, you might be better off looking at PyQt or PyGTK. If you're building something just for Windows, then you're probably better off looking at PyQt, or maybe something like Kivy, or there's another one that starts with an S, Sculpt, I think that's it, like SKULPT, something like that. If you're building something for Mac, there are some other libraries, I can't remember what they are at the moment, but yeah, like, there's lots of different toolkits. There aren't any amazing toolkits for Python. There are a lot of just like these are okay. These are toolkits, and they work and they do a thing, but they're not necessarily great toolkits. Typically, if you're going to do GUI programming, you probably want to do something that is more of a native thing anyway, right? So if you're going to go build apps for Mac, you probably want to go and learn Objective-C or Swift. If you're going to build apps for Windows, you probably want to go learn like C#. You're going to get just better results. If you need to learn C#, talk to Dark Dev. He's apparently a master C sharper, so he's a C sharpener. That's a horrible joke. Anyway, so that's 2 hours. I've got stuff I gotta do. Y'all have stuff you gotta do. So I think we're gonna call it here. But I will see all of you next week. Hopefully we will not encounter all the problems that we encountered this time. We'll try to have something a bit more solid decided on for next week. But thank you all for joining me. If you want to learn to program, you want to learn how to build stuff for the web, go check out Treehouse. We are teamtreehouse.com, and we will do our best to teach you all sorts of cool stuff. So until next week, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you later.
Thank you.